Hey guys, TOLULOPE Samuel here again. In today's video, we are going to learn how to create a birthday flyer like this. A link to download the resources we'll be using will be given in the description so you can check them out to follow suit. Let's get into the magic world of Photoshop. So here in Photoshop, first thing I would like to do is to create a new document, and I'm going to be creating a 4x4 document, so I'm just going to press create. So next off is I would like to add a background, so I'll add my gradient to it and I'll click my gradient. I've already set the pack, so I'll just be giving you the X code. So this is the X code here, this is the first one and this is the second stop. Yeah, just like that. So I'll press OK and I'll change it to radial. So I'll reverse it and I'll set my scale to 90, just like that, and I'll press OK. Next off is to bring in a background, so I'll bring in this background and I'll drag it into Photoshop. Next off, after it loads is I'll drag the background, I'll transform it out a little bit to fill the whole document. Now press OK. I'd like to set the background to overlay and I'll reduce the opacity to around 80%, just like that. So next off is I would like to add my rectangle, so I'll pick my rectangle tool and I will draw a rectangle just to a point where I'm okay with. So I'm okay with this rectangle, just like that. So I would like to tweak some things here. First thing I will do is to pick my rectangle tool back. I will remove the fill and add a stroke of white. I will increase the pixels of the stroke to around 10 pixels. Then I will duplicate the rectangle pressing Ctrl J on my keyboard. Next off is I'll pick my rectangle tool also and I will add a fill of black and I will remove the stroke in the second rectangle, just like that. So next off is I'll move my rectangle down a little bit, just like that. Then I'll move it sideways a little bit using the shift on my keyboard. So just like that. So you can just center it to anywhere you are okay with it. Once you are okay with it, you can just stop. So just like that, I will do that and I'll bring in my picture next. So I'll bring in my picture and I will set it into the document. So I'll press OK and I'll right click and I'll press create clipping marks. A quick disclaimer, my picture is not going to be in the resources panel, so I'll just add it just like that and I will put my picture there. Then I'll pick from the picture to the rectangle itself and I'll press Ctrl G on my keyboard and I will double click and rename it. I can rename it to pics, just like that. So next off is I can press Ctrl T to make the whole rectangle a little bit bigger, just like that. So I can press it just like that and press OK. So next off is I would like to bring in circle in my element panel, so I'll bring this circle here first. So I'll bring in the circle and I'll press OK. I would like to place it below, just like that. So I will drag the circle layer below the picture, just like that. Yes, and I'm good to go. So next off is I'll pick my text tool and I'll write 14th of June or the year or the month that is the person's birthday. So I'll write 14th June, basically just like that. So I'll pick my TH, I'll select my TH and I'll open this layer and I'll press the square button so we can have the TH at the top, just like that, and I'll press OK. So I'll pick my move tool and I'll bring this over on top of the circle, just like that, and I'll place it nicely. Yeah, just like that. I use the font Poppins for this, Poppins medium, and I'll press OK. So I can pick the dates and the circles. I can press Ctrl J on my keyboard to group them, double click to rename it. I can name it date, just like that. So next off is I would like to type in this place. You can add your brand logo. So here, just add your brand logo here. That is if the person you are wishing is from your brand. if you are designing for a brand, you can wish your brand a happy birthday, someone, maybe a staff in your brand, just like that. So you can just add your brand logo at the top left panel of your design, just like that. So you can just add the brand logo a little bit, just like that. So next off is I would like to type happy birthday. This time I'm going to be using the font called Cherry Angela. So I'll be using the font called Cherry Angela. So and I'll type happy birthday. I'll press Ctrl A on my keyboard, pick this and untick the capital letters. So next up is I'll pick my move tool, press Ctrl T to transform it out a little bit, and I'll just transform it out just like that. So I think I'm okay with it. Bring it down a little bit just like that, and I'll right click here and I'll go to my blending options. So my blending options, I would like to add a drop shadow. So I'll add a drop shadow, just a little drop shadow, just like that. Then I'll add a bevel and emboss. So the bevel does not need to be that much, so I think I'm okay with 3, and I'll press OK. So next off is I'll press Ctrl A on my keyboard and I'll center it just like that, so I can bring it a little bit outside. Yes, so I think I'm okay with it here. Next off is I'll pick my text tool. This time I'm going to be going back to my poppins. I'm going to be using semi bold. I'll create a new layer and pick my text tool, and I'll pick poppins. Poppins semi bold, just like that. So I'll pick semi bold poppins and I'll type the person's name just like that. I'll type TOLULOPE Samuel O, just like that. I'll press OK. I'll press my move tool. I'll press Ctrl T to transform the name out a little bit, just like that, and press OK. I'll bring it down using my arrow tools, and I'll pick my text tool again and I'll type, this time, much love. From, depending on the brand that you have from the brand, and you write the brand name here just like that. So I press Ctrl A. This time I'm going to be using poppins, but we are going to be using regular, just like that. So press OK. I will pick this. We press Ctrl T on our keyboard to reduce it a little bit, just like that. Press Ctrl A to center it. So once I center it, I'll press Ctrl D on my keyboard and move it up a little bit. After moving it up, I'll right click here, pick my happy birthday. Next thing I want to do is to bring in my lens flare. So I'll come here and bring in my lens flare, just like that. Put it here, place it nicely there, and I'll change it, the blend mode, to screen, just like that. So you can reposition your lens flare just like that. So I'll just position it between the Y and the H, just like that. I'll press Ctrl G on my keyboard to duplicate the lens flare and bring it down to where the name is written. I'll bring it below the name a little bit, just like that. So when I bring it below the name, I'll raise it up over the name on the layer panel, and I'll move to filter, and I'll come to blur, and I'll pick Gaussian blur. So you can just add a little blur to it. I'm okay with this blur 10 at the radius. The higher you increase it, the more blur it becomes. So I'm okay with 10, just like that. So and I'll press OK. So after adding my lens flare just like that, the design is almost done. So it's for us to add the elements. So I'll add my first element. I'll add this one into the design first. I'll add it at the top here, just like that. So I'll right click here, pick the blending options, and I'll add a color overlay. I added a color overlay of yellow, and this is the X code here. Press OK, and the element is yellow now. So next up is I'll bring in the next element, just like that, and I'll add it also to the design. I'll press OK, and just place it nicely here, just like that. So you can just place it nicely. Yes, so next up is I'll bring in the other element also and drag it into the document, press OK, and I would like to bring this third element here, just like that, just to be pointing to the name basically. So next up, you can press Ctrl T to reduce this one a little bit, just like that. I'll press OK and I'll put it like that, and I'll bring in my last element here, this one, and I'll bring it into the design and I'll place it here. I'll press OK and I'll move it to the top of the picture. So I would like to move this element up a little bit to the top of the pics layer, just like that, so we can have it at the top. You can press Ctrl T on your keyboard to expand the element a little bit, just like that. Press OK and I'll leave it there, just like that. So like this, we've been able to create a birthday flyer for people. You can use it to wish your friends, as a brand, to wish your staff and everybody. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Remember, subscription is free, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. It's TOLULOPE somewhere here, and bye.